Hello, I'm Kristen Lee. Welcome back. You get another video. um, I had wrote to my friends that went on the cruise with me prior to finishing up my video. Well, I filmed it yesterday, but I had asked them, if there were things that they felt could be better, what suggestions they had, what were some of their favorite things, were their least. And for whatever reason, I didn't check it again until late last night, and I had already finished up my video. And had I added to that video, it took me 2 hours to put my half-hour video up. So I was like, you know what, I'll just make another video, because I think what they suggested, if I can find it, were really great ideas. So, but I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Give me 2 seconds, sorry. Everybody agreed that we did not like the smoking, and we weren't made aware of how prominent it was. And the friend that I had that had gone on this cruise previous to us going, she had said that it wasn't that bad. Like, you could smell it when you were in the main areas, but it wasn't throughout the boat. And when we had done research to check out YouTube videos, they had said similar things. Like, you could smell it when you were eating and whatever, but there were parts of the boat that you could kind of hide it, like, from it. And we didn't have that experience. So, just want to make sure. Everybody said that the staff was incredibly nice, which I totally agree. I didn't experience the pools, but they said that if they were in the pools during, the sunny time of the day, the pools were kind of small for everybody that wanted to be in that area. Another thing was, I forgot that the hot tubs weren't hot. We basically just had bubble pools when we were in it. But one of my friends made an awesome suggestion and observation that the boat really wasn't wheelchair accessible. And I had noticed it, but it wasn't affecting me, so I didn't think in terms of, if you had a disability, how would you manage our cruise? And after reading what she wrote, I was like, where our stateroom was, where Danielle and I were staying, there was a pole right in front of the door. So getting our luggage and things like that were incredibly difficult. If the boat was rocking and we had something in our arms or in our hands, it was difficult for us to walk. So I can't imagine. And they were narrow. The hallways were super narrow, and our housekeeping people were fantastic, but they had to have a place for their cart to go. And their cart, took up a huge part of these narrow hallways, but they had to do their daily, cleaning out the trash and changing linens and picking up dishes and things like that. So there was that. And I don't remember there being many passengers in wheelchairs. There was this one poor guy that you could tell he was so annoyed with people trying to help him. And I feel like he had a very independent life outside of the boat, but because of the confined space, he had to deal with all these people. And then if he was noticed, instead of just moving out of the way and letting him go about his day, everybody would ask, can we help you? And he he would have this look on his face like, I'm just trying to go forward. Like, I have to go to the bathroom, or I'm hungry and I want to get through the buffet, and you are in my way. And there's no room to pivot. So I didn't, it was a really great observation. The fact that the pool area did not have wheelchair accessibility. A lot of the hotels and stuff that I've been going to, if there's a pool area, on both sides of the pool, there are these, it's kind of like a machine that you can transfer yourself from your wheelchair into the chair, and the chair pivots and then drops into the water. And then, you know, you can either just float in the chair or you can unbuckle and swim. They didn't have that there. I mean, they had everything that they needed to meet code. They had the, excuse me, the wheelchair, the signs for the bathrooms. A lot of them doubled, if they had the button, they doubled as a family room. But even the bathrooms in certain parts of the boat were really small and narrow, and passengers that had canes were having a hard time getting around people, because if there was a line to go into the bathroom and the door swung in, they had to like figure out how to get around them, because there was no room unless the entire line moved out and then they came out too. So we did see these little old ladies in scooters, and they were just zipping. They didn't care if you were in their way or whatever. One, I think, had a horn. And one was decked out in Christmas stuff. Like, her scooter was all, you know, Christmas garland, and I think it had a Christmas sign, and it was cute. So yeah, that. And then also, if you were wheelchair bound, I don't know how you could have done any of the excursions, because it was hot walking from the boat to just the main part of each port. And places like Cozumel and Honduras, there were a lot of people trying to get you to buy excursions or adventures that were not related to the boat, and there you wouldn't have been able to get around them unless somebody was pushing you. But then you're still, I would feel uncomfortable, because you would feel like a target more than anything, and you're just there to enjoy the beautiful weather and maybe go shopping or whatever. So gold star, bonus point for that observation. Another one, I don't even need this, was there, unless you did your research and found YouTube videos or Reddit threads or Facebook groups of people that have been on that boat before, and you just went in blind and it was your first time on a boat, it would be overwhelming. That boat was ginormous. You can get turned around really, really quick. And there were, like, I want to say only a few sets of elevators, and they would get stuck on certain floors. So then you'd be waiting forever. But the suggestion was you get this like flyer every day of what the boat activities are, what port we're going to, what time we should be there, what time you need to be back at the boat. If there's any precautions that you should take, like don't drink the water, or don't drink any alcoholic beverages with ice. Try and stay away from these foods. I'm trying to think of what else. That you can't bring open containers back onto the boat if you leave the boat and you have like a soda or whatever, like this, where it's drank, you know, half, you'd have to throw it out. And some of the days for the boat activities, you could meet the captain and the crew. So the suggestion was, instead of having a luncheon or a brunch or whatever they were having to meet the captain, why not have like a scavenger hunt, or, well, she didn't say scavenger hunt, she said a tour, and have the tours be from the time you disembark and you're going out into the water, have the tours start then, and then possibly throughout the day at sea, so that you can get an idea of where to go, and the people that you would meet anyway could meet you at different parts as you're going through the boat. So I was like, scavenger hunt. And if you finish the scavenger hunt, you get, I don't know, maybe a drink that's not in your drink package, or a dessert, or a voucher to one of the restaurants that you have to pay for. So that was a really good suggestion. And the last one was, we had a friend that took a tumble coming out of the hot tub. They were closing the hot tub area, and the guy was like, okay, it's time to leave. You know, we have to close up the area. Really nice about it. And we were getting up to go, and our friend slipped on the last couple steps going down and hurt their ankle and their back, but it was more, you know, after your teenage years, you just feel everything. And they were like, you know, I'm okay. And the guy came back and he's like, okay, you know, is anything hurt? And they were very professional about it, and asked them what's their room number and whatever. So then we're just standing there, and the guy leaves, and they're like, okay, well, you know, maybe it's for an incident report that he was asking where our room is. So next day comes, they don't get a phone call or a voicemail or some kind of message on the app saying, hey, come to guest services. Nothing. So they just go about their day, and they had an excursion. So they got up, went off the boat, did what they had to do, came back, and their room card got flagged. And for whatever reason, the guy at the desk that was scanning cards and doing facial recognition stuff could not tell our friend why it got flagged. So they asked them to step out of the line to let other people on the boat and wait for, I think, I can't remember the story because it's been a while, but I think security and the manager came down, and they had no idea why. They had no clue what had happened, and if they had something, if something was in their bag, if they had done something leaving the boat that they forgot to do, that kind of thing. So they waited, and it was getting close to the time that they were supposed to meet our group. I think that was the night that we saw Six, the theater performance. And they had to wait to be told that it was for an incident report. And they were like, you made me step out of line and had me wait thinking I did something wrong, illegal, something. And it's because I slipped last night and nobody has followed up with me. And instead of just having me come through and pull me aside or say, hey, can you go to guest services? You had me just wait here. So they were really upset about it. I don't know if they had followed through. They said that they were going to call and let them know, you know, Norwegian know that something needs to be changed in that protocol, because I know personally with my anxiety, I would be going through everything from when I packed my bags in California, the flight, everything. I would be like logging everything that I've done. So I don't know what was going on through their head, but that would be what was going through me. But yeah, and then the last observation was guest services was in the loudest part of the boat. So I showed the casino part in my video, and underneath the casino there was a thing called the atrium, and that's where they did a lot of the boat activities, a lot of the games, and they used the sound system. That's where I went to the sushi demonstration. Guest services was right there, and internet services was right, like you had to go through this presentation kind of thing to get in line to talk to the tech for internet services. And these poor people had to scream at you so that you could hear them, and you had to scream back to try and get something fixed. So I don't know how they would fix that other than change the location of where they would go. But the atrium, I think they had it there because everybody could find it. Because I don't know. I don't know how they would fix that. And the lines for guest services when you're at sea, forget it. It took forever. I mean, the few times that I dealt with them, it was at weird hours, so nobody was there. But it was after the sushi thing, and we watched the internet services opened at 9, and people were already in line about 8:45, maybe earlier, and it snaked. And it was just so that you could figure out what was the difference between using the boat's Wi-Fi versus the Wi-Fi that you paid for in your package if you paid for it. Like Danielle and I shared 250 minutes between the two of us. So yeah. So those were, I think that was everything. See, it's almost 20 minutes. And that would have, oops. Oops. Give me a second. The food, a lot of them felt the same way that I felt about the food. The spa package was really expensive. Usually you get a deal on your first day at sea. There weren't any. Another suggestion was water bottle fill stations on the ship, or on the way off the ship. That's a great idea. Because they give you a towel, and they gave you a glass of water or lemonade coming back on the boat, but that's a great idea. Oh yeah, though. We played shuffleboard, and there were no chairs to sit on waiting our turn. And we think that we would have stayed longer had there been places to lounge. All right. I think I hit most of the big ones. Oh, the other thing was it was better for us to go and to the places to book things, like to the theater to book, and we did that. Danielle and I were able to get there as soon as we got on the boat. Like we found, no, we couldn't even go to our room yet. So because we couldn't go to our room, we found the theater and booked tickets. Because one of our friends that was celebrating their birthday the same week, that was what she wanted to do. She wanted to see the 6 production thing. Anyway, but you could, there were touchscreen things on the wall. Sometimes they worked, sometimes they didn't. I don't know if it was a Wi-Fi issue on the boat, and you could book tickets and stuff, but there really wasn't a tutorial of how to use it and what to do and like how to find things. And no one explained to you that your TV had other channels than the movie channel. Like, we turned on our TV and they wanted $10 for a movie that was... All right, go potty. Anyway, they had a movie for $10 that was 2 years ago. And we're like, no. We clicked it off. We had no idea to go through the channels. And there were, you know, things explaining the boat and places in the boat and other channels to watch. So I think that's everything. So yeah, I will see you Sunday. And I'm taking you with me. I have some errands to do, and I hope your week is going well and not too wonky. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.